Hello, 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 everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa's Pop for Art. I love sharing art from my heart and teaching you how to create a little joy in your life through some fun, simple, and quick art projects. I have a really cute Mother Earth Day kind of painting for you. It is very kid friendly. It is very beginner acrylic friendly. I'm going to turn you guys around and we are going to get started. Okay, I have out my pre-traced canvas. This is in my art journal, and I have at my palette. I have like this is peacock blue, but you can use any kind of turquoise, teal, Bahama blue, light blue, whatever. White, green, yellow, and then burgundy for my red. I'm going to load my brush up with this turquoise. I'm going to pick up a little bit of white, and I'm going to come in here. I'm going to start painting in what we. I'm not going to worry about going too far out of the lines. And I'm just going to keep filling in with this little 1/2 inch flat brush. If I get paint where I don't want it, it's okay. We paint in layers for a reason, because then we can go back in and fix maybe something that was wonky or went out of the lines or whatever. Okay, so if you know, I'm painting all this water first. Okay, and come up here in and around the flowers. If your brush is too big, switch brushes and pick up a different brush. Okay? Use what you are comfortable with using. I'm not going to really worry about going outside the lines because I don't want you to worry about going outside the lines. When we come back in here later to fix stuff, we will be able to fix whatever it is that went outside the lines and that we painted a little bit wonky. Okay? So don't fret right now. This is just our first layer, and this is going to be our water, and then we have our land and our land. All right? Now I'm going to keep my dirty brush, and I'm going to just start painting in the background. I might paint right over the hearts. I don't know. My tracing is a guideline. I'm going to pick up blue and white every time. I want a little bit more white in the background of my sky than I had in my water. So we're using the same color, but I'm adding a lot more white to it. Right? And I'm just going around the clouds. If my brush is too blue, I'm just going to pick up white and I'm going to go around the clouds. Bumpy, bumpy. Like I said, if I get some on my hearts, it's okay. It's all right if we paint over lines. Really, there's no art police. Nobody's coming for you. We can go right back in there later with acrylic paint. If you let it dry, you can fix anything. So I'm going to keep going around my elements and painting in my background. I'm loosely going around the flowers and these leaves. Am I giving you anxiety? You're like, no, don't paint outside the lines. It's okay. It's okay. We want to pay attention to our borders. So when I'm going around the actual earth, I want to be careful. And keep picking up some blue. I'm going to come here and I'm going to just paint around the leaves, around the heart, and work my way down. Loosely going in and out of these leaves down here because we're going to paint right over them with our green later, and it's okay. If you want to be neater, you can. I'm just trying to tell you, you don't have to be. I always think I start my time lapse and then it doesn't start. I have to be a little bit more conscious of that. Every time I pick up more paint, I am fixing the fibers on my brush. That's why I do this on my plate. I want to fix the fibers on my brush so they're not all wonky. We don't want your brush to have bedhead. And then, of course, I'm going in and out of these flowers down here. We could add more flowers down here if we want to. I may add another one. We'll see. The tracer I used for this 9x12 mixed media pad that I'm painting in was for a smaller canvas. You know why? Because I don't get worried about those things. If I want to add another flower or two, I will. And I just keep picking up white and blue. The only thing I'm worried about, or the only thing I want to be conscious and aware of, is that my blue on my planet Earth is darker than my blue around the outside, which is our beautiful sky. That's it. And it doesn't matter how messy or how neat your background is for a couple of reasons. We're going to fix it all when we paint our elements. And it's not the focal point of our art. We're just getting it covered. Okay. And again, I'm not even going to wash my brush. I'm going to get mostly white. And I'm going to come up here. I'm going to paint in my clouds. Okay, so my brush is still dirty. I'm going to come around my flower. And just paint these lofty little puffy clouds with a flat bottom and bring it out to the side. I still have the blue paint in my brush. If I want to go back over these, because you can see the pencil lines, I can at the end, or you can too. But for now, that's layer one of my background and my clouds. I think I am going to switch brushes. I'm going to go to this smaller round brush, and I'm going to pick up some white. I'm going to pick up some yellow. I'm going to pick up some green, all on the same brush. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to start doing the land. And now this is when we get to clean up all the lines that we may have painted over when we were doing the background or the water. Okay? I'm going to paint over the mouth because we're going to come right back in here and come right back over that later with some black. And when I go back, I'm going to pick up yellow and green at the same time. We want a nice edge here as well. So yellow, green, and come back to my canvas or my surface, whatever it is I'm painting on. I have both colors here on my brush, but I'm trying not to overmix. You want to see different colors. You want to see some yellow. You want to see some green. You want to see some different greens. That's why I pick up some white. You don't want it to just be all one shade. Again, this line is important here. And then these lines are important here. And just fill it all in. If you need a little bit more white or yellow, just pick it up. If you get too much green on your brush, pick up more white and yellow, and vice versa. Okay, how are we looking so far? Pretty good, I think. All right, while we have some green on our brush, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to start painting in these leaves. I'm just pushing my brush down. I'm picking up yellow and green. I'm just pushing my brush down into the stem, pushing my brush down. When I get closer to the stem, I pick it up. Yellow, green, push and pick up. Yellow, green, push and pick up. Push and pick up. Sometimes if they're a little skinny, I'll go back in and fix it. And we have our leaves. Oh, I think I missed one right here. Okay. Now I'm going to paint in all these leaves. Again, I'm using the yellow and the green. And if you noticed now that I'm painting in the elements and I finished the background, I'm being a lot more careful. When we're doing the background and the clouds and the water, it doesn't matter as much. When we're doing in here, I think there was leaves in there. Let me see. One, yep. And two. And when we start to get into doing the details, we want to pay a little bit more attention to how we paint. The background's one thing. Now we want to really pay attention when we come in here and we start doing other things. Okay? And now I'm going to wash my brush. And give it a nice dry. Oh, I missed a leaf. Got one right in here. One leaf there. And then one leaf here as well. Believe it or not, if you want a little bit of a darker green, pick up some red. Everybody thinks you want to add black to darken colors, and you usually do. But since red and green are complementary, they darken each other up too. You would use green to darken red. You could even use green under red if your red is a little translucent. Okay, and I'm going to wash my brush. And now you can paint these flowers whatever color you want. You want to paint them orange. I'm going to mix a little bit of the burgundy and the yellow. You can paint your flowers orange. You can paint them yellow. You can paint them pink. You can paint them solid burgundy, whatever you want. You can paint some of them blue. And I'm just coming in here. I'm painting right over the center. And I'm painting in all my petals. And you can paint right over the center of your flower. I'm not even cleaning my brush since I made the orange. I'm going back and I'm picking up some yellow. I can pick up yellow and make different shades of orange as I paint. I'm just pulling in my little what do you call it? I can make a really cool bright yellow with some green. I'm just pulling in, filling in the petals. Well, the end, when we add all the details, that's when you'll see it will really come together. They want to make some pink now, so I added a little bit of white to my burgundy. I want a little bit more white. I want it really light. And then I'm going to paint in the hearts. So I mixed that pink, but then I took my dirty brush and picked up the straight burgundy. This way we'll have a variety of levels of this burgundy and this pink paint. Isn't that cute? I think I'm going to add another one. Oh, there is one here. I painted over them, so I'm having a little trouble seeing them, but that's okay. But I do think I'm going to add one a little bit lighter up in here. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to these flowers. Now, these flowers have a little bit more of a different shape. These petals actually look like little hearts, as opposed to the flowers on the bottom that all look like daisies. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of white and a little bit of pink. Again, you can go right over the center. And I'm just painting in all of these flowers. We use a little bit of this peachy orange here on this one. This one's tucked under, so this petal here gets a little bit cut off. It's tucked under the red. We'll go to yellow. Same with this one. These are tucked under. I like how these colors play together. So I'm not even washing my brush as much as I could be. I'm just picking up a little bit more of the extra yellow because I want this one to be more yellow. Fill that in too because I don't know why that is missing like a petal there. All right. I'm going to go over this one a little bit with some yellow. I want to brighten it up. And then this one. Orange, yellow, red, all tend to be a little translucent. That's why sometimes we have to go over them. Okay. I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to go back to my blue. I'm going to dip in blue, but then I'm going to pick up a lot of white. I want this really white and light. I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to do a second coat on my clouds. There's one. After the initial blue on my brush, I don't need to pick up any more blue. And we're just going to fill in. Make sure my ends are bumpy and rounded. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to put out a little bit of black. I'm going to start adding in some details. First thing I'm going to do is put in our little smile. And I'm going to paint in our eyes. Again, as we layer and go step to step in our painting, my blue might have been messy when I did my blue originally, but now I take my black and I take my time and I fix it. So now I have those nice circles there. I'm going to twirl the brush between my thumb and forefinger, and I'm going to add in the stem between the flowers and these leaves. Okay? I'm going to come back and I'm going to outline a little bit of my earth. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with these little lines, you can wait until your entire project is dry, and then you can use a Sharpie or a paint pen. It is just important, though, to wait for your painting to dry. If you don't wait for your painting to dry, you'll ruin your paint pen or your Sharpie. The end of it, the tip of it will get all yucky. Okay? We can come down here and we can outline our flowers if we want. It's just important to use little light strokes. If you need to practice on paper or scrap paper or something to begin with, to make sure that you're using light strokes and not a lot of pressure. Practice before you come to your art. You want to be careful that you don't put your hand into your paint like I almost just did. And little light strokes. If you have to hold the handle of your brush up higher so you don't have as much control on it, that sometimes helps too. Now I'm just going to come in here. I'm just going to pull in a little tiny black stem into each of my leaves. And I'm going to wash my brush. Oh, I get on there. Let's get a little bit of. Okay. A little bit of blue. I noticed my cloud was a little bit blending in, so I picked up a little bit more white there for that cloud. Let me wash my brush. Okay, now I'm going to go back into my straight burgundy, and I'm going to add little red centers to all my flowers. I'm just moving the brush one way and then the other way, and I'm making a little bit of a circle inside my flowers. Okay. And wash my brush. Now, oh, I forgot eyelashes. We're going to put a couple little eyelashes on here. And the same thing on the other side. Again, light strokes. All right. Now for our eyes, I'm going to get a little fresh white. I'm going to take the back of my brush, the handle of my brush, I'm going to dip it in the paint, and I'm going to draw a circle. One there, and then one here. Then I'm going to dip my brush again, and I'm going to put a dot, dip my brush again, and put a dot. Okay, I'm going to go to my fresh white, and now I'm going to do the same thing with the white that I did with the black. So wherever I outlined in black, I'm going to pick up some white, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to loosely follow the outlines that I did in black, loosely. Highlight a little bit on my stems. Put a little highlight in each of my hearts. Put a highlight in each of my leaves. Okay. Put some highlight in my petals. It just, the white and the black and the highlights just help bring everything together. What I forgot before was put in the stems in these leaves when I did the little leaves. So I'm going back and I'm pulling in these little black lines into those stems for those leaves as well. I'm going to use the back of my brush again with my white, and I'm going to just randomly put some white dots in my centers. Little cluster on top of the red, and then a couple in the hearts. I'm going to back with white, and now do the same thing in these leaves up here that I did below, adding in some white to these leaves too. And I think we have it. A little white here. I think that's it. Isn't that cute? How cute is that? A little Earth Day, Mother Earth. Let me turn you guys around. I could go in here and I could outline everything. I can do all my clouds, all my hearts. It's totally up to you. If you want them to fade into the back more, you can come over here and you could loosely do the hearts as well without even doing the whole thing. That one I got a little sloppy on. You can just do one side if you want. Totally up to you. If you have too much black, pick up some white and go back, and that will just soften your black line if it was a little too wonky or thick. If you wanted to too, you could paint over the whole thing and have another go at it. Totally up to you. And then back to my white, with the little dots. And then I can just outline that side a little bit. All right, let me turn you guys around. And there it is. Isn't that cute? This is just my page protector that I use, so I'll pull that out so you guys can see it. Isn't that cute? So cute. So cute. So kid friendly. So beginner acrylic friendly. And just fun to just sit and create. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.